Response. Leader of the third party.
Mr. Speaker, Albertans were consulted on an Alberta Children's Charter in 2013, leading to the 2013 Children First Act. Bill 25 passed unanimously with senior members of the current government in the Assembly. Albertans expected the Charter would be adopted in 2015, but instead the NDP government has done nothing. The website childcharter.alberta.ca has since disappeared. Mr. Speaker, I will table the document Together We Raise tomorrow and provide a copy to the Minister today in case she hasn't seen it. To the Minister of Children's Services, why has this government stalled work on adopting and implementing the Children's
Minister of Children's Services.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, what I can tell you is that this government has unapologetically stood up for children and families here in Alberta, and we've committed to making the lives of Albertan children better. That's why we have a Children's Services Department once again to focus on providing support and making life affordable for everyday families through the child benefit, investing in new childcare spaces. Mr. Speaker, if there's anyone who's child-centred and focusing on placing children first in this legislature, it's the members on this side of the
First supplemental.
Thank you. Well, perhaps the government could try answering the question, because that's her ministry. Given the government-dominated Legislative Offices Committee has been reviewing the Child and Youth Advocate Act and related matters since September 2015, and given that the Alberta Children's Charter has not been discussed since then, again, to the Minister, and it is your ministry, when do you intend to fulfill the obligation under Section 2.1 of the Children's First Act to establish a Children's Charter?
When? Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, as a demonstration of how centred we are and focused on children in this province, we established a ministerial panel on child intervention. Mr. Speaker, there was many tragic outcomes within the child intervention system, a system that has clearly had substantial challenges for years. So, Mr. Speaker, this government is taking action to put children first. Mr. Speaker, we established the ministerial panel, and I look forward to working again with all of my colleagues to deal with this challenging issue, to take some real action to ensure that Alberta's children really have the support they need to move forward and have the very best outcome.
Thank you, Honourable Minister. Second supplemental.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. The minister ought to be less chippy when she doesn't know her own file, so I'll give her another chance. Given the protection of children, and particularly vulnerable children in care, has been a heightened priority for all Albertans, and given that this is now the third session without work on the Children's Charter, Mr. Speaker, again to the same minister, when will Albertans in this Assembly expect to see a draft of the Children's Charter as required by Section 2.4? Will you do your job, Minister?
Good question. Pardon me? Honourable Minister.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. And Mr. Speaker, while others within this legislature would focus on cuts that would not give families the leg up that they need in tough times, Mr. Speaker, this government is taking action to make life better and more affordable. So, Mr. Speaker, we're not talking about words here. We're going to take real action, and we have taken real action to focus on families, to be child-centred, and to move forward in ways that we haven't seen in the past, to really take that real strong action to make life affordable, to provide those services to children and families. Hear, hear.